So jumping back into the world of Mad Max, we have got Furiosa, directed by George Miller. This film here, not gonna lie, I saw the reviews a little earlier and everyone was saying how good it is, but when I went to see it, I must have saw a different movie. So here is my spoiler review for Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. Go watch the movie, come back and let's see how we're going. So the plot of the film was where I found it lacked the most. It follows Furiosa from a young age getting taken away from the green place, and her whole story is just trying to find her way back home. We see her fall into the hands of Dementus and his gang as they travel the wasteland. Now Furiosa is just kind of chucked into this bigger plot point in which Dementus wishes to fight Immortan Joe for the dominance of the wasteland. Now the way they should have set things up a little bit better was give Dementus and Furiosa a little bit more time together. Even though Dementus was the reason why Furiosa's mother died, the story almost shows that Dementus wanted to be this father figure to Furiosa throughout. Now, obviously that wasn't going to happen, but it would have been nice to see that build up a little bit, considering that Furiosa is then given to Immortan Joe to become a wife. We then kind of get to slowly watch Furiosa grow up into becoming this ruthless warrior. Now we do see Furiosa kind of disguise herself as a teenage boy, and she works up her ranks of Joe's men into helping build the war rig, which we see used in Mad Max Fury Road. Now Furiosa builds up a nice connection with Praetorian Jack, who's the commander of the war rig, and together they kind of plan to escape to the green place, only for their entire crew to be wiped out by Dementus. See that Jack and Furiosa escape from Dementus, only for him to catch up to them and giving them a little bit of a punishment. Now here is where we get to see Furiosa lose her arm, in which it is crushed by a monster truck, and then it is ripped off after as she is hanging from the war rig. She then makes it back to the Citadel to warn everyone that Dementus is on his way and he is trying to take over the wasteland. We then have the 40-day war, which then shows that most of Dementus's army passes. Furiosa, taking one final stand, eventually goes after Dementus, finding him and treating him to torture, in which she reveals who she actually is. The film then ends with Furiosa becoming Imperator of the war rig, in which she gains full command and is the driver of it. And then we see her sneaking the wives out into the war rig to let them be free, taking them to the green place, in which this is where Fury Road kind of starts. Now acting wise, we have Chris Hemsworth, who plays the Dementor, who's absolutely fabulous in this film. This is one of his better films of being someone different rather than him just himself. We see him with a prosthetic nose. I think it's amazing. And Anya Taylor-Joy, she plays Furiosa. Honestly, she doesn't really come into about just a little under halfway of the film, in which we see the younger version of her, played by Alila Brown, kind of take the wheel in the first bit of the film, which I think she's amazing as an actress. And honestly, she has a very promising future in the film industry. But the acting was really good for this film, and it needed to be. Honestly, Chris Hemsworth, he munches the cake in this one, and I give it to him for best actor of the film. The pacing is honestly where I felt it fell flat the most, and I found it to be really slow and somewhat boring, unfortunately. I think the action was there, but it just wasn't utilized to the best. Considering that Fury Road is what this film was kind of to look up to be, I just didn't like it. I didn't like how the pacing was for this film. So all in all, Furiosa and Mad Max Saga, I was disappointed. Now, Mad Max Fury Road is an incredible action film. It's full on. It's amazing, especially set in the scene of Australia. You can't go wrong. But Furiosa, it doesn't live up. It doesn't do anything for the story. It really doesn't go anywhere. And honestly, Furiosa's backstory, it's a little bit of a letdown. Like, I understand she lost her mother and she was trying to find her way back home, but I feel like they had so much room for creativity and they just kind of let us down. And this is the thing. A lot of people are saying this film is fantastic. And that's why I was like, did I see the right film? So I did go see it again to double check, make sure I was not the only one. But unfortunately, I may be the only one on this one. But Furiosa was a letdown. So for Furiosa and Mad Max Saga, I'm going to actually give this one just a 5 out of 10. It still did what it had to do. The action was still there, but the story was a little bit of a letdown and it was so slow. I'm sorry, I didn't like this film. But that's going to be all for today. Please let me know if you like this film. Let me know what you gave it out of 10. Apart from that, be kind, love one another, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.